Today I'm going to take a look at this Arrows RC Marlin. It's a really nicely featured EDF RC airplane, 64mm EDF that do run 4S, and as I'm not really ready to invest in 6S batteries, I'm limited to 4S. This one does feature a really nice set of control surfaces, so it's a really genuine 4-channel RC airplane with throttle, aileron, elevator and rudder, and it does also feature flaps, which are really nice. So have like a 64mm EDF and then have rudder is kind of unique. I think there are not many RC airplanes with rudder, and with rudder you can do so many more things. So I think it's a great value, and the flaps on this one also really fantastic thing. So underneath, and you have like these landing gears which are put in really simple. Not many screws to mount this one. I think that the cable management could have been done better because it's a little bit fiddly to get everything in. And then you have this hatch in front to remove the cover. It's really huge space to put the battery in to access everything. So there is a steerable nose gear servo in the front, and then you have the battery plate over here. This one uses an XT60 connector, and I opted to put an AR631 receiver, and it's just glued over here, just put on top of this one, which I think it's a nice position because it's kind of difficult to find in a straight line to have it. And so I mean, I'm just eager to get this one up in the air and to fly it and to try it. I've tried quite many Arrows RC airplanes, so let's just head out and do maiden on this Arrows RC Marlin. It does have a really nice sound, this Marlin from the EDF. I think it's really cool with these electric ducted fan noises. When you have enough blades, they sound really good. And this flight is on a 4S 2200 milliamp smart battery. So it could be possible to do 3200, I don't know, or 2700. But on the 2200, I set the timer for 4 minutes, which usually is okay. So it rolls straight as almost all EDF RC airplanes. They're like a rocket shaped. So this is more agile than the E-flite F15. In my opinion, it is also quicker than the E-flite Habu. And compared to the Habu, this is smaller, and this is also more featured, as you have flaps also. And with flaps, as you can see, I gotta have some speed, but push the throttle a little bit, but it's really steady and it slows down this plane very much. So just remove the flaps then and get speed again. So as with most EDF, it takes us a little bit of time to pick up speed, so you don't get this instant push as you do with the prop-driven RC airplane. And also really easy to tell orientation with the shape of this one. So surprisingly enough, even if you have like smaller EDFs, they are really easy to tell orientation due to the shape of the wings and the fuse and everything. So I rarely have any problems. And this one, I really don't like the paint, the stickers. They're almost all white RC airplane when you hold it up close, but when it flies, it doesn't really matter. I think it looks fine. You can do tight turns with the use of rudder as well.
Takeoff flaps, landing flaps, time remaining 1 minute.
And just the flaps just work like an air brake as they should. So I'm just keeping throttle a little bit higher just to have some air flowing above the wings. But it's really rock steady flying. I experienced a few kind of rough spots here and there when you fly, when you just over control it a bit and at lower speed. As long as you just have some power and air flowing, it's really rock steady, this one. So let's go downfield and turn around and do touchdown with this one. So just remember not to flare it too much. A bit bouncy, but I mean it got down in a good shape. So I mean kind of a nice one, this Marlin from Arrows RC. What do I think about this Arrows RC Marlin then? Well, I have to admit that I have a little bit of mixed feelings about the Marlin. First of all, I don't think that it's a beautiful looking RC airplane. I don't think that it's a... I don't like this gray canopy. I don't like the stickers on this one. I mean, it's not a favorite. I had to try one, of course, because there are so many people enjoying this one. But to me, I really don't appreciate the design. I think that the great thing about this one that it is so featured with the rudder and with flaps. But as I've experienced, I mean, sometimes it just gets a little bit squirrely, and I've surely had my fair share of problems with all my Arrows RC airplanes. So I'm not really sure why. I mean, have I had just bad luck, or am I doing things that these Arrows RC airplanes just don't like? I don't know. Or are they a little bit over controlled? I don't know. Because I set the rates to 100%, but I had like a 30% expo, which is normally just fine. When you have, when you have a good speed, it behaves really well. But then sometimes something happens and it just, it shivers for a few seconds, and I'm not really sure why. It's a really odd thing. And I also experienced, I tried to do like a kind of a high alpha landing with this one, but I ended up just tip stalling it and cartwheeling it, and I thought that this one would be so damaged, but amazingly enough, it survived really well. But then again, I had another landing where I had a nicely, flared landing and soft, and then something on the ground just, hit this one, so it jumped up and actually just went down and just clipped the nose section off. So I have actually glued this one in place again, which is no problem. Just put a bit of carbon fiber rod inside and just use some CA glue, so it's rock solid. But I mean, my feelings are mixed. And if I would compare this one to the Eagle, the F-15 Eagle from E-flite, I think the F-15 flies so slow. It's a great flying RC airplane. Of course, it's only 3 channels, so there's so much you can do with it. But I much prefer the F-15 Eagle than this one. And I could also compare this one to the Arrows RC Viper, which is a really simple 3-channel RC airplane. But then I think this one does fly more fun than the Viper. But I think the Viper does glide better, so when it's time to land, you more or less just have to kill throttle and just glide to landing. This one, you can also glide into landing, but I mean, as you really can't high alpha this one, I would really be really careful to not get the nose up too much on approach, because I think it would just, dip to one side. The build of this one is really simple. So I mean, just I think there are 5 screws in the main wing. There are, I think, 3 screws for the rear section, and you have to pop these landing gears into place. So they're quite easy if you want to have like a hand launch on this one. The one thing I disliked when it comes to build this one was that the cable management when you put on the wing, and especially the rear stabilizer, it's a little bit messy. I think they could have solved it in a better way. But other than that, I mean, the build was just super easy, super nice. But I mean, as I said, I'm having a bit of a mixed feeling about this Arrows Marlin. Of course, I will fly it more and just experience what I really think about it, and then do a second look at this one. But for now, it's a kind of mixed bag of feelings from this RC plane.